everybody. Welcome to a Sunday evening / night edition of Spitballin Cards. Tonight you've got me, Filmington, and Chris, Baseball Card Addict. We're going to take a look at some of the auctions ending tonight. We've done this before in the past, and it's been a lot of fun talking cards, showing cards, answering questions. So thanks to those of you who've decided to join us. We have a pinned link in the top of the comments on YouTube. If you haven't joined Fanatics Collect, join through there, and then they'll say, oh, Spitballin sent us. So please do that. Hi, guys. How you doing this World Cup Sunday?
Yeah, what's up, fellas? By the way, we have got to update that music. That is the softest, gentlest intro music ever. Like, I was fighting to stay awake during those 30 seconds.
It almost put me to sleep, I got to say.
But yeah, you know what's going to help keep us awake is looking at baseball cards and this cocktail that I have.
Well, excellent. So let's dive right in. So Fanatics Collect has their weekly auction, which ends tonight in, I believe, 1 hour. It ends at 7 o'clock Pacific, which is 10 Eastern, and then goes into extended bidding. And there's a few cards that we're all looking at on there, as well as maybe to bid on and some just to watch and see how high they go. So Chris, do you want to start us out with anything you've been watching in particularly?
Of course. So yeah, there's a lot of fun stuff on here, including, Jeff, a Mizorowski card I'd never seen before.
Is that the rose red one?
Yeah. You can just put a message in the chat if you don't want me to talk about it because you want to bid on it. I won't.
No, feel free. You can
right.
talk about any of them.
So I know he's on the IL right now with a thumb issue, but I love this Nick Kurtz card. This is his Golden Mirror rookie auto from Topps Update last year. I believe I don't think there's any gems last I looked. So this would be the highest graded. I kind of like this shot. Looks like he's in between rounds of batting practice. And there's a pretty good bold gold auto on this.
Yeah, the photo doesn't really do it justice. It looks like it has a pretty nice pen. It has the medium-sized pen, it appears.
Yeah, I don't know if that's any clearer for you guys.
Yes.
They probably could have angled the card slightly, but
yeah, that's clear.
I like this card. And I got to be honest, though, Phil, I like your opinion on this. This doesn't look like the bicep of a guy who could hit 40 home runs every year, does it?
Big Amish. That's farmer strength.
No, but yeah, I mean, you and I both know biceps are mostly for vanity. There are other more important functional muscles, especially for power. Being tall helps. The leverage, obviously the lower body, the hips are probably even more important than the lower body, being able to turn. And there's some other upper body muscles that are more important than the biceps.
Yeah, it's all about grip strength for most of these guys. And also Jeff, by the way, who's our Spitball and Farmer Carry world champion.
Taking a little time off, Chris. My slab cracking injury is almost healed. I got it stitched up here. Then I'll be ready to go again.
Unier's Cars agrees. Yeah, Kurtz's sheer length certainly makes up for, let's just call it what it is, girth.
Thorson Carr Collectibles, our resident autograph expert, says they're all the same pens. They just weren't prepped correctly for many of the athletes. The SIG is only as good as the prep beforehand. I believe you should be there teaching Topps some prep techniques if they're going to continue to do this, which we've been assured they are. It would be nice to have this. This is a very good size auto.
Yeah, this one is, I mean, unfortunately the Ohtani and I forget who I think the Schwellenbach one were two that looked really bad when I saw them, but I like this one. So Phil, as a Kurtz guy, is this a card you would be interested in?
I mean,
doesn't sound like a resounding yes. So
okay,
okay. You made a comment earlier today. We were doing another stream on the For Collectors channel. By the way, check that out, guys.
Yeah,
we were talking about our favorite 5 modern baseball sets products. Not talking about specific years, not talking about designs. That was the earlier upload from today. But so you made a comment about there being maybe 5 or 10 of these. I would say whenever you think it's that few, okay, we're talking about a product that came out last year, but still, what if it's like 20? If it's 10 versus 20, if I'm making like a purchasing decision, assuming it's 10, but it's really a little bit more, that annoys me. But same time, like what other Kurtz cards am I going to buy? Bowman Chrome Auto, like maybe for like a short-term flip, maybe if I need a piece of that market ASAP and I don't know where else to look. It's like I'm more comfortable with like the Bowman multipliers. I kind of know a good price to pay. I have confidence in that price. But Dynasty would be usually where I'd look. But those prices are berserk right now. Like the first Kurtz basic patch cards out of 10 we're doing like 15K. It's like, what are we doing, guys? You know, that's like Juan Soto levels almost.
Okay, so here's my question for you, Phil. A Nick Kurtz Dynasty rookie auto out of 10 versus this. Where do you see the price in Europe? Let's assume that this card there's no more than 10. Okay.
Yeah.
So those are both out of 10. Like, which one where would you see the multiplier? What should sell for more?
That's a good point, dude. Because like the price you spent on that Ohtani, I mean, that's a sick Ohtani card, and it has a lot of significance, right? Even if there are like 2 other similar cards that were printed afterwards as different types of short prints in Topps flagship that you didn't really know about. But like, this is a rookie. This is different. And yeah, I guess whatever this goes for, it probably ends up being very undervalued versus the dynasty market right now for his RPAs. So I guess to answer your question, I mean, this would have to sell for a lot in order to justify the current dynasty prices.
Okay.
Way more than where it's at, right?
All right. Well, now I might bid on it, so I'm going to take this off the screen. I don't want people talking about this anymore. All right. Hold on. Yeah. All right. That was the card in this auction that I'm kind of most interested to see where it goes, and possibly throwing a bid at the last minute. We'll see.
Yeah.
Good call, curator.
I've got some stuff. I'll share my screen. Some of these are non-baseball. I'm going to start. So like, there's going to be some higher valued stuff. I've also got a lot of stuff under 500. I set up my filter to look at anything above $10. I was going through everything. Baseball, modern baseball stuff, 1980 and later, because this is a modern baseball channel, of course. So we are going to go to, well, we'll go to this eventually.
Yeah.
Actually, let's talk about this now.
Yep.
So this is the once highly, highly coveted white jersey SSP from Topps Update of Acuna. PSA 10s during the pandemic or shortly after were going for $10,000 or more. This is sitting at $525. This is a PSA 9 though. Any thoughts on this and the price? Start with you, Chris.
God, I love this card. It's
familiar with this card.
Yeah. Jeff and I owned a copy at one point. I currently do not own a copy of this. Yeah, I like this card, and I promise I will definitely own a copy of this card again, but I just don't think it's going to be anytime soon. I mean, that grand slam he hit in his rehab assignment in like the Florida Coast League, people are getting all excited about it.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I don't know who he is now. I don't know what version of him we will see in the next couple of years if we don't get a full season next year. I don't even want to think about what his career will be. He will always have 40-70. He's got some amazing baseball cards, but I got a hard time putting big money into this. But if this 9 goes for under, if you can be all in under $1,000 and you like Acuna, I don't hate that at all.
Jeff?
Yeah, I'm right there too. I see Thorsten saying Borkers has Acuna fatigue. It's like, fool me once, fool me twice, fool me 3 times. At what point do we stop being fooled? I'd love for him to have a full, healthy, successful career. I just don't know if that's possible now. This is probably one of my favorite cards, along with the Bat Down Sapphire, which was also mentioned in the chat. And it seems reasonable if you could be in there all in under 1,000. It seems reasonable for this.
Yeah, it's not a card I would expect to soar in the future, but it's a cool card to own. And at some point, I don't know how low that price can get. I did want to just answer SSP Joel here. They haven't announced it, and Jeff, correct me if I'm wrong, but just after the pandemic, people on blowout forums were talking about these update SSPs a ton, and I believe the numbers that were universally agreed upon were 3,000 for the SPs. So your Acuna red blue jersey, Soto hand on hips, and Ohtani red shirt. And the SSPs, I believe, were 300.
Roughly 300.
And if you look at
some
the PSA,
285-ish, 300, but 300 is a pretty good rule of thumb.
Yeah.
And if you look at the the PSA pop reports for these. Actually, there's more of these than the horizontal ones, right, Chris?
Yes.
Even though that one is less sought after.
Yeah, same thing with Otani. The hitting has a lot more copies graded and more PSA 10s than the horizontal pitching one.
Here's the Sapphire. So like,
yeah,
a guy like Acuna reminds me of Tatis, although obviously Acuna has a lot over Tatis. He doesn't have the steroid suspension. He does have the MVP. He has the 40-70 season. But like, there's certain players that just have that spark still. You could look at jersey sales. You could look at 7 to 9-year-old kids and asking them who their favorite player is. And I'm in the Soto thread, and I had people say my kid said that Acuna is his favorite player now. He's bored of Soto. So Soto, he's desirable for other reasons because, well, the exact opposite, because he's available, he's consistent, he's there, and he's putting up great stats season over season, the exact opposite of what Acuna and Tatis are doing. So I guess like Acuna still has that spark. Maybe Tatis is flamed out last year, but like all it's going to take, like the Grand Slam, like a couple playoff series where he really carries them. And he's not going to go back to where he was, but he's going to go up. Yeah, I would think.
Yeah, Soto is going to be the guy. Well, actually, Soto, but like, yeah, there'll be other players that accumulate huge numbers. Acuna's not going to be that guy, but hopefully he's that guy that gives us memories and moments. And like Phil's, there will be some hobby love for that. Yeah, a huge October this year would go a long way.
And this is the card that everybody wanted, 2019, 2020. It was outselling the equivalent Otani card with a less interesting pitching pose on it for the longest time, up through maybe like a year and a half, 2 years ago.
Yes.
And they were like
really recently
selling like evenly around like, I don't know, 3 to 4K each, 5K each, or close in the ballpark. And now the Otani's up to about $30,000. And is this like a $2,000 card now?
That's a good question. I'm not sure what the last couple of sales were. Let's look.
Yeah, I had that, and that was one of the cards that was hardest for me to part with, the PSA 10 of that. And I finally did. I watched the value come all the way down from the peak. I think I unloaded it at about a $3,000 value. So it's probably still below that now, but
yeah, the last two sales were $2,100 and $1,900 back in June.
All right. Joe Montana. So if folks in the chat are looking for an iconic rookie card that hasn't gone up a ton in value over the last 2 years, this actually meets that criteria. Like I think 60K is where it was a couple of years ago. You're looking at a pop of, I hate how they don't put pops on like the auctions or like previous sales. They only do that for bin. They think it's going to be disadvantageous for the seller, I guess. But I mean, like, come on, it's 2026. Make the information available. Same thing with alt. Like, give us the information underneath for these auctions.
That one's almost centered too.
It looks pretty close to spot on.
I mean, yeah.
No, I see that centering is why I wouldn't bid on this.
Same.
Like, I probably
I know that doesn't bother Chris as much as it bothers me.
You have a cert from like the beginning of time. This is 2 million. You got the new
100%
holder.
That would not get a 10 now. 100%.
Yeah, like I mean, with cards like this, you really have to like scrutinize the back. Like, okay.
I mean, look at that back centering. Barely 70-30, top to bottom.
Crisp edges though, crisp corners. Like,
very crisp.
It's not for me. But if you're one to buy like the label over the,
can you make the front of the card bigger? The back centering, I don't think I've ever seen a back of a Montana centered. I just don't think any of them were ever cut that way. Yeah. But the front looks pretty darn close.
I don't know.
Top and bottom, left to right. That right is pretty skinny. That right border. Chris, I'm telling you, man.
I think it looks great. By the way, it was pointed out to me. After the national after the West Coast Card Show on Friday, I went on a date with SFO Sox fan, and we were talking about this very card, and he's like, "That's got to be an unlicensed Joe Montana card." And it's I never thought about it, but there's no
San Francisco logos.
There's no logo on that card, even on his helmet. Like you can't see anything. So it's interesting.
No, they wouldn't be able to say 49ers if it was.
I know. It has like that sort of pajama look to it. Yeah. And once he said that, now I look at it and I'm like, oh, I wish it said SF somewhere.
Yeah, there's no NFL shield on his jersey.
Yeah. The PSA 9s are way up on this card, by the way. Just I think the 10s are 7 cut up. They're just not out of sales. I think that's part of it.
I looked it up. What's the pop? You guys want to take a guess what the pop report is on that Montana?
Like under 20, right?
Jeff, want to take a guess?
Pop 10. Notice this doesn't have an NBA gold sticker. Curator said they had an agreement to say 49ers, so it was in fact unlicensed. I don't know what an agreement is, like a handshake deal.
That was the 80s. You know, anything's possible.
I'm gonna say a pop of 30.
114.
Oh,
okay. Well, they got to be some
out of
center
almost
better than that,
34,000 graded.
Yeah.
okay. I didn't know it was that much. All right.
So
this is the one that got away. Well, I sold this one last year. It like randomly 5x off no news, just like, I don't know, hype manipulation.
World Cup.
So I had a BJS 9, and mine had like the hair was chopped off, kind of like this.
Okay.
The hair was like chopped off, and this is a card that's known to get like slabbed by Beckett. Sometimes the card's fake. I thought mine was real, but I also saw that it was selling for the same price as a PSA 8. And I was like, this basically 5x'd again in like a year. And this is before other players' cards really started to take off with the World Cup coming and everything. So I sold mine. And even with what Messi has done, it's like back up to last year's peak prices again, middle of the summer. So like I could get back in for about the same price. I probably would go PSA 8 over like BGS 9. But like I was hoping Argentina would lose tonight because I want to get back in on Messi. He's just awesome.
That's so selfish of you, Phil. Rooting against an entire nation so you can buy a card a little bit cheaper. I respect that, though. I
SFO Sox fan is calling you out on centering. And believe me, we've had this discussion many times. Chris doesn't see centering the same way I do. We had an Ohtani that was way off center, and he thought it was not. Maybe he does. He does need some special PSA centering glasses.
I'm sorry, guys. I'm just a very modern, you know, I don't see race. I don't see gender. I don't see centering. I just, you know.
He's very open-minded when it comes to things like that. Chop Shop says Ohtani buckled his knee. That's great. Did he stay in the game? Appeared okay.
Well, maybe this is PCA's opening for the MVP.
Yeah.
So this, I mean, last year he had some ridiculous dynasty sales. Granted, a lot of those patches were better than this one, but out of 10, sitting at 1275, seems decently priced. Seems like it's got a little bit more room.
Yeah, he's hot again. Can he have a good second half? I think most of those big sales occurred before his dive, his absolutely horrific second half.
Yeah.
How many dynasties does he have, Phil? Do you know off the top of your head how many images?
I don't actually. This here shows that he's got at least 4. So more likely 6 and not 3 of the horizontals because this is PC4. So this would be like the 4th image for the horizontal.
Okay. So he's got at least, what is that for? 64 images, 64 cards?
Yeah, more likely like 6 times 16. So 96. Because usually it's like either 3 or 6, at least for last year, I think it was, with the horizontals.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, I like Pete Armstrong. I do. I don't know. Some people got upset with the whole fan interaction thing. I didn't mind that at all. I like to see my guys like get fiery. But hey, I like him. I wish he would grow some eyebrows, but otherwise, that's a very cool card.
What do you guys think about this one here and the price? This is the X Factor out of 225. This is the Bowman Chrome first on-card auto of Verlander, and it's sitting at 330.
I think I'm heading over to bid on this one. I don't get it. I don't get why Verlander stuff isn't more expensive than it is.
Recency bias. He's been terrible lately.
True.
So I think that's causing it. I see this is authentic. Does that give you any pause, Chris, that it's not graded?
I mean, I don't know. If people don't collect Verlander, do people just not bother grading him? I'm certain I would not be buying this card expecting a 10. Lamar Donovan, this is not a CGC slab. It's just basically it's a raw card.
Correct.
Fanatics uses CGC to authenticate all the raws in their auction. I mean, this is numbered, right? What are the X Factors numbered to?
225 it says.
Yeah, I mean, I would just take a look at
Verlander is an exciting. Yeah, I think he's another one of those guys that we've talked about that'll be appreciated after his career, and you look back on it, all of his accomplishments. As I said the other day, he's older than Tim Lincecum, and Tim Lincecum hasn't pitched in the league in over 10 years. It's just like Verlander's been around forever. So I think he's going to be appreciated more. Might be a time to get him.
Yeah, I mean, listen, Kate Upton thinks it's exciting, and I'm going to trust her on that. Phil, can we see the back of the card?
Yeah, sure. So this recently sold in a PSA 8 over the last month or two for $500. And it also recently sold in a PSA 10 for like $2,800. So that's like and raw, I assume, would be close to PSA 8 because of how, like, this has been a relevant, important card for a long time. Like, for this not to be in a holder, you assume it's worse than a PSA 9 or a BGS 9.
Yeah, the back actually looks much better than I was expecting.
Yeah, me too. I thought it'd be white all over the place.
There'd be a lot of white around there.
Yeah, I mean, the corners are beat up. There's probably some surface stuff that we just can't make out. That's the key on the front foil part. So, like...
Yeah, Forbidden Donut, I'm kind of with you. Sort of an ugly card. It doesn't... I'd almost rather have a regular refractor. That X-Fractor doesn't look great on that design.
Yeah. What would you rather buy, though? Would you rather buy this, say, if it goes for $500 all in, or the PSA 10 for like $2,800 at like a 5.5x multiplier?
For Verlander, I would probably buy this at the 500 because I'd be buying it just to have one. I don't thinking that after he retires and that run up to the Hall, people might appreciate him more.
Yeah, I would say the exact opposite. I would buy the PSA 10 because I'd be buying it only under the assumption that it would go up in value as people kind of do a retrospective on his career.
Yeah, but $3,000. Oof.
I mean, what's the equivalent of Skubal right now, or Paul Skeens? What's the equivalent Paul Skeens?
Oh, Skeens.
$3,000. And Skeens would be lucky to have Justin Verlander's career.
Yeah.
The whole Kate Upton thing reminds me of Livy Dunn, right? Like, for us to look back at Skeens 25 or 15 to 20 years from now, and for him to have like the Verlander resume, it's just a reminder that, like, be careful with pitchers because they're not often widely adored forever.
Yeah. And especially if you hang on and aren't dominant for the last several years of your career.
Oh, now we're talking, Phil. All right.
I know you saw this one. I kind of did some non-sport or non-baseball, but it might as well be non-sport stuff with football and soccer. Yeah, I knew you were watching this one, Chris. What do you guys think about this one at 4,900 right now? Pop 3.
Yeah, I mean, his like Harper and Freeman are both in the similar situation where none of their rookies have like really high pops back then. The centering was just trash. The surfaces are garbage. This one looks. I shouldn't even comment on the centering. To my eyes, it looks great, but I'm a couple deep here.
It's not perfect, but it's better than that Montana for sure.
Well, I would like to think that a Chrome card in 2012 can out-center a 1981 paper card.
I don't know. We've seen some bad Chrome cards. We've seen some Freemans from 2011.
Oh, that is true. But I like this image. I like the 2012 design. I'm a big fan of this card. And Pop 3, like, this is also one of those cards where there aren't like 6 more like out there hiding. Maybe the couple BGSs will cross over, but I mean, this Pop is going to stay low.
This kind of looks like an unlicensed card as well. It's hard to see the logos. You just get the number.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
It's like a pajama. It's like the Montana.
But yeah, I'm a big Bryce Harper fan. Even as a Braves fan, I like watching this guy play. And he is being elite again this year, which is kind of surprising and annoying.
Yeah, he needs to have a couple more elite years. We've talked about in the past, his career has been so up and down. He's not been consistently elite, even though he's had great postseason moments, which helps keep him on the map. And with the Phillies doing what they're doing this year, it seems like he might get a chance to do that again. Yeah,
Thorson, I'm right there with you. I would love to get a copy of this. It would match the Freeman that I have really, really well, but I don't have $6,000 in Bryce Harper money at the moment.
That's the thing. Yeah.
Yep.
It's like, I know I sent you guys a screenshot today of the Baseball Reference WAR leaders to date, and position players. I think 7 of the top 10 are shortstops. It's just so hard for these first baseman DHs to like put up the stats to have that high WAR. And I know it's not all about WAR. Even for MVP voting, they look at, well, OPS plus OPS as a big component. But like a guy like Nick Kurtz, he slows down for a few weeks. He's way behind Yordan Alvarez in OPS plus. Well, he's fallen a ton in WAR. versus like the top guys like Witt, Jordan, etc. Just because, you know, the first base defensive bump isn't really there. It's like a negative thing almost. So like most, if you look at defensive wars for all the first basemen in the league, often the Gold Glove winner or the top defender at first base at that position will still have a negative WAR.
Right, or barely zero.
Yeah.
I feel like there's a better way to judge that. I don't know. I don't know how, but I feel like there's a better way. And Phil was teasing me because I give Fangraphs a lot of crap because they value shortstops so highly, almost impossibly so. But man, even seems like Baseball Reference could use a little bit of an adjustment.
Yeah. JJ Weatherholt, McGonigal, Otto Lopez, Bobby Witt Jr., Pete Crow Armstrong, and I think there's one other shortstop. Like at least like I know some of these guys play multiple positions, but they at least play some shortstop. Yeah, craziness.
Go ahead.
Yep, go ahead, Chris.
I was going to say curators mentioning a Hank Aaron card. I have it queued up.
Oh,
we will get to it.
Let's get to it now. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Oh, go ahead. Talk about your Barry Bonds. Yeah, okay.
No, I mean, whatever.
Yeah, the order we can go.
I'd like to know what you guys think about this Hank Aaron. It definitely caught my eye, but Chris and I have been looking at a lot of Hank Aaron autographs. He has one. I do not. I would like to get one at some point. This is really cool, but it's a modern card with his auto, and I just don't know. I kind of feel like if I'd want to get an auto, that's when I'd want to get a vintage card with his auto on it. I don't know. What do you guys think of this?
Jeff, I was sure the M would sell you on this one.
Love it. It did almost make me throw a bid in just so I'd be reminded of it tonight with the M. He's definitely got the Braves, the Milwaukee Braves uni going there, but I don't know.
So like modern products, we know that Scott had a duel with
Mays.
Yeah, I was gonna say probably mess up the vintage player. So he's got an autograph in that product, Stadium Club Chrome, right? He's got Dynasty autographs up till when he died, basically.
Yeah.
And I've got a one of one, pretty sweet looking card, nice autograph. How many Heritage Red Ink sets is he in?
That's a great question.
Maybe there's a Hank Aaron fan who could tell us.
I don't know the answer.
Because that might like affect whether or not I'd be interested in this at the whatever price it ends up going for. I assume it's going to go for more than $975.
Yeah, I would guess this would end around like the last Freeman Aaron that I saw went for $2,500. I would assume this should be maybe a little bit less.
Maybe.
I mean, the red stands out pretty good, pretty well.
It does. It looks like he's maybe at County Stadium there, Old County Stadium, the outfield bleachers. Yeah, I don't know.
That's a very cool card.
Curator points out that this auto is significantly better than a lot of his later autos, even as the Dynasty ones from through 2020, where his hand got a little shakier and there wasn't always constant pressure. This is a pretty nice, solid Hank Aaron post-career auto.
How do we feel about the centering here, guys?
Huh.
It's about the best card we've seen tonight with centering.
All right.
Yeah, top bottom's off a little.
Yeah, top bottom's a little off.
I mean, yeah. I'd have to look at other cards from is this 58 tops?
Yeah, that might be how that it is centered. I don't know.
I believe that's 1964.
Or that.
Yeah. An employee is definitely the person doing the numbering. It is absolutely not the player. Expecting them to get that, to keep that straight.
Yeah, no
that's
chance.
just not going to happen. Okay. All right, Phil, back to you.
Back to me. All right.
Yeah, people were talking about the bonds you had brought up.
Yeah, the
showing. Was it at All Kings?
That's what it looked like.
Yes.
SFO Sox fan, around 5 or 6 years of red inks for Aaron. That's a lot of red inks out there.
It's not that many. If it's 6 years, that's like 400 and change. And that's assuming they're all out there. Total red inks?
Seems like a lot. If I don't know.
I bet Trout's got 2,500.
Oh, I'm sure he does. But if we're talking about older players who maybe you'd want to get on a vintage card instead, I'd love to get him on a 75 or 76.
Ooh,
Brewers.
75 is great. But yeah.
Yeah, so this one here, the Ohtani obviously is a massive card. Bonds is so tough because it's it's hard to compare with Ohtani. They're clearly both non-rookies, but this is post-playing days. There are just so many insert sets now and limited cards of guys going for tons of money. It's like everybody's trying to front run what the next PMG is going to be from this generation. Yeah. Maybe the answer is none of them.
Probably.
I actually just FOMO'd into an ultraviolet auto of Bonds. So I'm not, immune to this, this whole movement, but there's a lot of good stuff. What does this end up going for? What's the Ohtani equivalent worth? 40, 50,000?
Oh, yeah, probably. Good Lord. Mr. Little Thor, these do still look good in slabs. I saw quite a few of these at the West Coast Card Show, and I just heard a lot of people like talking about cards like this and how people were dealers are buying these up. And I heard people just talk about how much they love to buy them because they're easy to comp. Everyone knows what they're worth. They're easy to sell.
Very liquid.
Yeah, and exactly, very liquid. I'm like, that's just not, I don't know, not my cup of tea, but these do look really good in person. I got to say, they're thick. They shine. They look great. But I would say that they can't be the PMGs, right? Because correct me if I'm wrong here, Phil. PMGs were one of the reasons they blew up is because people weren't aggressively collecting them like in the 90s, right?
No, it's got to be looking back, right?
Yeah. So it's got to be something that's getting overlooked right now. And these things are far from overlooked.
Right. Right. I think they're unique enough, potentially.
Yes. Oh, I agree with that. Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of other cool, unique, like anime. That's super unique. What else is there that's like that? Spotlight. Pretty unique.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a lot of good stuff out there. All right, now let's go to CIA Auctions had a Bowman's Best version of this. This is the International Refractor PSA 9 Griffey from 97 Bowman Chrome. Awesome card. Love this one. What do you guys think?
Is he bunting here?
Yeah, that's really weird position. I love my Griffies with a little bit of his signature swing style. Great background. This is very cool. I would not hate it, but it doesn't seem to be the way I think of Griffey in any manner when I see him.
Phil, can you zoom in a little bit? What is his left hand doing?
Is his hand getting drilled by the ball?
His fingers are still on the bat. So it's like he's drag bunting. Now I need to know how many times he did this in 1996. And if anyone can tell me who was pitching when this happened, I just need to know.
On earth, yeah, would he not be swinging?
Imagine you throw that pitch and you see Griffey start to bunt, and you're like, yes.
Yeah,
that makes it more unique in a way.
An early shift where they got the third baseman behind one hand bunt. Curator's going to find out. Yes, that's very strange. So I guess if you're looking for unique Griffies, yes, I like the flag background. That's pretty cool. So is there like a Larry Walker with a Canadian background in this set or something? I'm not too versed.
Different players will have different flags. Yeah, Adaldus, I see that print line too.
Yes, Pullside Burrito is commenting. I saw a little bit of this at the Little League tournament this weekend. It does kind of look like he's running out of the box. Get away from me.
Yeah, it looks like the pitch is coming at him. Yeah, do you remember what the PSA what the card sold for? That was on CIA last week, Phil.
I don't know. Much less, obviously. I like this set in particular because it reminds me of the Beltre and Halliday rookies. And of course, Beltre does have a version of this with the Dominican flag in the background. Mm-hmm. Really sweet card and very low pop, I think, in PSA 10. Yeah, with a card like this, I might hold out for the 10 based on what that multiplier is. Usually I would not these days. I would go for a lower grade, but
yeah, cards from this set, like they are not easy to gem. There's so many print lines and little service issues and just almost like printing defects. 97 Bowman Chrome and Bowman's Best. That was like the last couple of sets packs I bought as an active collector.
Reminder, guys, if you're going to bid on any of these, hit that link, or if you're not a member of Fanatics Collect, hit that link above. It's a referral link to join and make your bid, and at least they'll know we sent you. We're not talking about this now. We have talked about it in the past, but Fanatics Collect Marketplace has done a good job of having a bigger supply of cards out there. So definitely check that out sometime. This is the auction that ends tonight, but they also have a lot of cards and a lot of dealers are now putting their cards on there. Like Burbank is almost exclusively through Fanatics Collect instead of eBay. So it's a nice alternative when you're looking for other places to shop.
Yeah. You mentioned inserts, Phil. Can I have the screen for a sec?
Yeah, sure. I'm going to hop to the bathroom too real quick.
Go for it. Okay. So here's another Ohtani insert that's up here in a PSA 10. I like the City Connect jersey. I kind of like this design with the gold paint behind it.
I remember when we first saw the strokes. Yeah, I like this too. I'm not sure I've seen the Ohtani. That looks pretty cool to me. He's got City Connect jersey on, it looks like.
Yeah, I like the image. I like the paint. I think this looks cool. It's called Strokes of Gold.
Yeah, and you got the dark background.
Yeah, if I'm seeing this correctly, let me hop over here.
It kind of looks like a classy version of Bowman's Best.
It does, but to that effect, Jeff, look what they did with the Bowman's Best logo. They golded it.
Put it in gold.
And that's a better way of saying it. Yeah.
Star. Yeah. I like it. I like the whole design of this. It's very, very minimalist when it comes to Bowman's Best. Usually they're really wild.
Yes, they like to
just a few strokes. Stadium Bodega says he has the 2024 Strokes of Gold.
Oh, nice.
I suppose Sox fans, it's in hand. These look a lot nicer too. I'd love to see it. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep an eye out for these at the National.
Yeah, I'm looking at some comps here. Raws are selling of this Ohtani are selling for around $2,500, and looks like a PSA 10 sold for $4,200. Okay, yeah, I think I'm reading that right. Yeah. That's not the same. Okay, yeah, that's okay. Good. Also on Fanatics, but thankfully not the same card.
What do we think about, like, when I see this, and you're talking about comps here, and obviously they don't strike me like the first word that comes to mind certainly isn't low or cheap when you mention those prices, but I think of like 2024 first year Dodgers uniform. If I was to buy something big in a Dodgers jersey, I might, obviously, easier said than done, right? Like, it's going to cost a lot of money. But a lot of people bash Kevin O'Leary's purchase of that Dynasty logo man. Seems crazy. I get it. But if you factor in like Judge non-rookie logo man Dynasty cards sell for like 80 to 100,000, and maybe there's like a 10 times multiplier between those two players right now. It might not be exactly 10, but maybe somewhere around that. And then factor in the Dodgers, first year Dodgers effect, 1.8 million. Yeah, it's probably high, but maybe it's not a complete ripoff.
And factor in if you have $1 billion.
Yeah,
overpaying by a little isn't a killer, right?
And factor in that you can then price it. You can say that it increased in value when you put it into your index.
On your index, that's right. Yeah, when you're determining the value, what is overpriced? Stadium Bodega is $700 back in December.
I saw that. Yeah.
Wouldn't you rather have rookies than random Strokes of Gold 2025 insert set? This is a conversation we come up with a lot and discuss it a lot. It definitely is an issue. You think about, well, what rookie could you get for that? And as the rookies are getting higher in price, people and us, other people and us are looking for other ways to get exposed to Ohtani. Some people do that through rarer inserts, first year Dodgers, 2019 Rookie Cup cards. There's different ways you can look at it to try to find that next thing or a way to get some exposure to the market. Hopefully places that haven't really blown up yet, but I don't know.
Yeah, with Ohtani, it's harder and harder because there are so many people scouring. All right, I got to show you guys a card that I do not care for. Ty and I randomly or rarely do Ty and I agree on stuff, but we both agreed that cards like this we don't like. So let me just throw one of these up here. There's a little bit of a balance here. This is the Jack Caglione first Bowman Chrome sunflower seeds parallel.
Totally agree. This is another way that they're making some artificial scarcity, right? So reds are typically out of 5. Well, here's a sunflower seed out of 5. What's the Phil, you would know this. What's the sunflower seed to red multiplier?
God, I mean, I don't think it's standard. There's just certain cards like Sapphire Selections, Bowman autographs Sometimes they sell for a lot. Sometimes they sell for a little. Sometimes there's no rhyme or reason for what they sell for, but it's obviously under half of True Red. I would guess it's under a quarter of True Red.
It better be, yeah.
Yeah, it's so that means it's under an orange. It might be on par with like a gold, but I could be completely wrong. Like anybody in the chat, let us know if you understand the market better than we do, which is very, very little over here.
I like Staley's. Michaela and Staley both have opinions here. As someone who collects food-related cards like hot dogs, she likes these. Staley says, keep the parallels, move them to the celebration box. I do love that idea. Put this in some product like that.
Yeah, I think what Ty and I more or less agreed on, we feel like stuff like this, and I think someone said it in the comments as well, that it's kind of a joke, but it's like the Bowman First is a really important card, and I feel like when you start putting like sunflower seeds and pumpkins and stuff on these, you're like disrespecting the significance of this card, and I don't like to see it. Now, if this were in like a retail box or like a celebration box, it would bother me a lot less. But I would just hate to pull a first Bowman auto of someone and be like, oh my god, it's sunflower seeds. Oh, there you go.
That could be right. 20 years from now, you come back and tell us that nobody wants the red. What they want is the sunflower seeds out of 5.
Yeah, it's just, and I hear people. I hear this all the time. Like, well, it's low numbered. I want the lower numbered card, but
Yeah, so that's a good point by Professor's Dugout. Like these fall like 1 pack every 10 cases or something like that. Like these are in a special pack, and they're not diluting the actual ripping of the product themselves. So that is good at least.
That's good. Yeah.
Can't really say that with most of the other ones. Like at the same time, we don't open a lot of product. We have to think about the people that are opening it on that end. There needs to be some value. And if they're going to increase more and more to satiate demand, there needs to be additional parallels or something, some chase to satiate that. And Topps is trying to be creative and clever. Like you got the geometric parallels and the Breakers Delight boxes now, and that helps keep like some of the original ones back in the non-Breakers boxes. But they've got to make sure the geometric ones actually hold some value. And man, that's a tough test.
Just to address a couple comments. Certified Bowman Hater Michigan Cards and Graphs says these cards are already photoshopped entirely. So is an altered photo really worse than a pattern on the border, Chris?
Yes. I don't know. I don't know.
No, we know what you meant, Michigan Cards and Graphs. It makes sense, and it is a logical argument, but I think it also, I don't know, it just makes things really confusing for new people coming into the hobby. Staley said this is for kids, yes, but cards like this and prices like this aren't really for the kids.
Yeah, exactly. It might be intended for kids, but who's going to pull them?
Yeah.
I saw someone in the chat mentioning, and we could take a quick minute to talk about this guy. This Pirates guy is absolutely on fire.
Yeah.
Have either of you looked into his hobby at all? Looked into his cards at all?
No,
I have not.
Not at all. Not at all.
If we were a real modern baseball podcast, we would probably know, but we're just posers over here.
Well, one thing, he relatively recently just came up. Beginner's luck, as I say. And he also plays for the Pirates. So where's the value?
Yeah. All right. Hold on. What did I have next?
He doesn't have a great hobby name.
He does not.
It sounds like a Disney princess name.
Okay. So he's striking out a little bit, but all right, 113 plate appearances.
Pitchers just haven't caught up yet. It looks like Hira's debut. He was great in that little short section.
Yeah, he's the kind of guy that if you happen to have added him in fantasy, you think he's great and it's going to continue. And if you didn't and you've been playing against him any of these last few weeks, you're furious and it's a fluke and you know it's not
waiting for him to drop off. Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So he has 24 home runs already between two levels. 20 more than 30 home runs last year. Okay. Wow. He's a legit power dude. He had over 50 home runs in the minors last year. All right. So the power is legit. It's just a matter of exposing him. The strikeout rate's already at 37% in the majors. 113 plate appearances isn't like the tiniest sample. So eventually he's going to flame out like Aristides Aquino. It's just a matter of like how long can he can sustain
Evan,
some
need to
sort
see
of
that he's not like Mercedes was on the White Sox. Chris and I are very familiar with Roman Mercedes pulling his auto 1 week after he retired suddenly in May. Yeah.
Yeah, I would be more afraid that he could be an Aristides Aquino, but he seems faster than that. I just want to pull up this Dynasty card here and just comment on the pairing, because this to me is like a perfect pairing of non-teammates. These two guys potentially could have a lot in common when it's all said and done.
Could be.
Yeah. Ortiz stuff, it's pretty popular right now from a dynasty perspective. The Twins stuff too, because it's more rare, obviously, is moving quite well. It would be hard to find a collector that would want these two names on a card or be like accepting of it, unless the patches were like a little bit better. But I mean, pretty cool, and you might be looking at the MVP this year.
Yeah.
Well, if you believe the bottom guy, he says no DH could win the MVP, right?
I mean, just because he should have. But I'm sure he's very happy with his World Series MVP and his ALCS MVP.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, Jordan just isn't stopping. And stuff like this is cool. I mean, you get a chance to pick up the two of the best left-handed hitting DHs of all time on the same card, on-card autos, cool patches, and you know it's not going to be that expensive. So as someone who likes those two guys, I like this card.
Not bad. Some Colorado love, it looks like in the comments. Hard to know who's for real. Hunter Goodman, another great guy to have in your fantasy team. Am I buying his cards? No.
Yeah, how crazy is it? If you play fantasy baseball, you probably thought Cal Raleigh's the best catcher eligible player you're going to have all season. But Ben Rice has been better. Hunter Goodman's been better. Carter Jensen
Raleigh may be actually the worst.
Yeah. Drake Baldwin's been better. Yeah, he's barely a top 10 catcher. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Hunter Goodman, my goodness.
So Goodman has 30 home runs right now?
Yeah.
Did he get to
Is that
30?
true?
Yeah. Yep, he does.
That's crazy. His WAR is getting hit hard because of the Colorado effect, which is the opposite of what Raleigh got last year.
Yep. The anti.
So like WAR, Fangraphs WAR right now is 1.9. The defense, I mean, he's got a positive defensive WAR, but he's a catcher, so it's actually he's probably a below average defender by at least by Fangraphs.
1.9 WAR with 30 bombs.
Yeah, Colorado effect right there.
Wow.
So it's WRC plus is only 115. That's the them like docking.
How many hits does he have? Like 50 hits? 30 of them are home runs?
He's hitting 251. Well, before tonight's game.
He's at 257 with a 326 on base percentage.
Yeah, his OPS is right around 800.
So he's got 30 home runs, but for a little bit of perspective, his slugging percentage is 4 points higher than Mickey Moniak.
Yeah, Moniak's a good trade candidate. He's going to go somewhere and hit 0 home runs in his new home.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
What's next? Go back to me?
Sure. Yeah. Take over.
All right.
I'll queue up a few more, so I'm ready to go.
All right. So we are going to go to Caminero. A lot of people think he's still undervalued. I don't know what this card is going to go for, but I do know the blue, which usually sells for a little bit more than double the refractor, like 2.5 times ish. The blue is over 3,000 now, which means that this is probably, I don't know, 1,500 or a little bit higher, maybe somewhere around there. Don't quote me on that, but I think he's got multiple in this auction. So
I was just going to say, Phil, I saw a few of these. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is when you'd strike on one. Don't go crazy, but he's dude's good. Dude's also streaky. So like there might be a month where he only has 5 home runs, and the next month he'll have 15. But I love, as I mentioned on our like a recorded episode, I forget which one. I think we're talking about like the biggest surprise. I forget what it was, but we were talking about Caminero, and I was talking about how his walk rate doubled since last year, which is crazy. Like young players, you see that walk rate tick up slowly over time. You don't usually see it double. And the strikeout rate keeps on going down. Like I think you're like a guy like Caminero, based on how hard he swings, you would think, oh, he strikes out probably 28% of the time, but it's like 17%. The third base defense stuff is gonna bite him in the butt, and he can't win MVP if Jordan Alvarez stays healthy, most likely. But he could have a narrative. I mean, the Rays playing well could win the division, and that could push some votes in his favor for sure.
Oh, the Rays look like the best team in the AL. And they'll be aggressive. If there's an arm out there that they see something they like, they're going to go for it. But McClanahan scuffled a little bit lately, but Rasmussen has been incredible all season. They've got a nice 1-2 at the top right there. Do you see the orange that's in this auction as well, Phil?
I did not.
Oh, yeah, I'm taking the screen. There are several refractors though, so I think Phil's onto something there.
There's a lot of there's a lot of Caminero stuff. I actually I ended up bookmarking like 3 or 4 of his cards. So I'm like, oh wow, like it just I don't know. They stood out to me, but I did miss this one.
Yeah. We got a little 10-10 here. I don't know what there is to say except this is pretty phenomenal.
So this card you could have got for $10,000 in the offseason, but that was when he still hadn't shown he could hit consistently for power in a real major league stadium. He had horrible splits last year.
He had those weird power splits last year.
Yeah.
Right.
But he's nearly at his WAR from last year. He's almost his Baseball Reference WAR from last year. He finished in the top 10 in MVP last year already at, I think, 4.3 WAR he ended up with. Now he's at 3.9, just turned 23 years old. And people forget how young he still is. And like Phil said, with him developing that eye at the plate too, I mean, that's kind of a Soto-esque type eye that he's going for. And he's only 23. So I think the future is bright for him. I have 0 of his cards. I have to change that.
I have none of his cards either. Yeah, we'll see if the Rays lock this guy up, because the last person they gave a big contract to was kind of a death knell to everything.
Yeah, I think.
So hopefully they do a little bit of research here before they do it. I want to take a moment just to look at this card and tell you I can see that left to right here is got to be right at the limit.
Okay. Chris is noticing the centering. Yeah, and with some of these Bowman designs, it's pretty clear.
It's silly that the left side is a bright orange and then the right side has like a darker sort of gradient. It makes it look worse than it probably is.
You're right. Yep. The shadowing. Kevin King says E5 machine. Yeah, how long does he stay there? Does he become a DH? It's pretty young to become a DH. Maybe he'll be like Devers and move over to first, right?
Yeah, maybe they lock him up and then take away his position. He throws a fit and they dump him to San Francisco.
Sign Bregman. Perfect.
Phil, do you have another one ready to go, or should I keep going?
I do not. You can keep going. Well, I do, but you keep going for now.
Okay. What do you guys think about this Ohtani? I really like. There's an Acuna like this, which I really like. Never bought one. It always seemed too expensive. And the time will come. But so this is the Ohtani Mystery Redemption auto out of Finest. So these aren't live, and if you pull one now, you are SOL. But these are numbered out of 99. How many are out there? We have to look at the pops and try to put a number together. But it's pitching. His regular Finest was a hitting auto or hitting image, but this is probably more rare.
It's funny to see this image on this background, isn't it, Chris?
A little bit, yeah.
You used to see in the hitting version of this.
Yeah.
That's really cool. At that current price, it doesn't seem too crazy, I got to say. Mystery Redemption autos are always, or they seem underappreciated, even going back to like Bryce Harper's Mystery Redemption. It's just like, I don't know if because people aren't able to actually pull them out of packs, or I don't know. I don't know why they are underappreciated, but if you're telling me you can get a numbered out of 99 rookie auto of his, I would be thinking those are already at like $40,000 to $50,000.
Yeah. Sometimes I see cards like this and you wonder why this wasn't listed in Premier. Well, they only have that once a month. And you've got to wait in order to get your money a little bit longer.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like cards like this could stand out and potentially be less like overshadowed with 35 more significant Ohtani cards in that same auction. I think in this case, it might actually hurt it because there's just maybe fewer of the high-end whale eyes are on this auction. Maybe these people are at Fanatics Fest. I don't know. You can make all sorts of excuses, and hindsight's always 20/20. But yeah, this one could slip under the radar potentially in this auction tonight.
Yeah, it's hard to time things like if you're in this auction this Sunday, it's after Fanatics Fest, the Dallas show, the West Coast Card Show. They're all ended. Maybe buyers have less money. Next Thursday, 4 days from now. Well, yeah, Thursday is the end of it's the premier auction comes to an end. So maybe some people are holding out money for that. I don't know. I would, if you're interested in an Ohtani rookie auto, I'd keep your eye on this and see how much it jumps and extended, because I feel it might slip under the cracks. It's true.
Yeah. So that's a good point. So this is our buddy from the Discord, Ryoma. The preferred image is going to be the hitting image, and we could, we don't need to parse that any further, because just make it about the image, right? And not that he's actually swinging, and whether or not that's the variable that matters, or is it the image quality. But the hitting version is going to be the one that you'd prefer, and the base hitting is also short printed, so you'll notice like, oh, why are the multipliers so small from base to orange? It's because there's not that many base, and the base ones actually look really good. Ryoma, I think, made a point that his autograph's actually nicer on the base version too. But
yeah, he's saying they have different autos.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. Anyway, anytime you see an Ohtani with an on-card auto and it says rookie and the price isn't $30,000, you're like, what's going on?
Yeah. So we touched on this earlier about the selectivity with our buying of Ohtani now. I think I'm like a 9.5 out of 10. Like 10 would be the most selective. Like it needs to be like one of two cards for me to even consider it. Rookie or non-rookie of Ohtani at today's prices. And I know Chris and Jeff, you guys are similar, but I think there's more. You think there's more opportunities. I just haven't done as much research. I think the Golden Mirror auto is a great one you guys picked out, potentially undervalued for the long term. In the long term, probably even undervalued even more based on what you guys paid. For me, it's like I'm just skipping right past the Ohtani listings for my own buying for that sake.
Yeah, I get it.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, I was going to say I would say you're a 9.8. Jeff and I are probably at just a level 9. And there's definitely some very specific stuff that we are still kind of looking for and looking at. But
yeah, and I'd say the only other caveat, I talked a little bit about it before, is looking for small pockets where things aren't quite as crazy priced. So definitely for the higher end, we're really selective, but I'm still keeping my eye out for some second year, like Heritage Rookie Trophy cards that I feel like are just still a little underappreciated. I recently bought that Finest Flashbacks, which is kind of a mid-priced card. I love it for my collection. Will it appreciate like rookies? I don't know. Probably not. It's in 2020, which is kind of Ohtani purgatory, but I really like that set and where it comes from. But overall, I think for the most part, I'm with you. We're skipping a lot of these, or at least just scanning them and immediately getting most of them out of their way.
Yeah, I think Jeff, you and Forbidden Donut are both becoming more and more obsessed with that flashback set. It's fun to see.
Yeah,
they do look great.
Here's the gold right here.
Yeah,
love the gold. Forbidden Donut got a gem of this gold, which I'm jealous of.
So Evan G is asking a question about the different Ohtani styles, and I'm not entirely in between the different rookies. I know there's a little bit of variation, but I would say it's like 2018, 19, and 20. I think he has one style. And then 21 he changed for like a year, and then it's been 22 on. Is that right? Or does
if RM is still here, he probably knows the best. He even says within 2018, people haven't really recognized the difference in the auto. Someday they might. Between his early autos, 2018, 2020, and current one, people definitely prefer the earlier ones. Yeah, he went with that really tiny auto in between.
Yes.
Maybe just 2021 was just like a little symbol.
Yeah. But yes, I definitely prefer the earlier ones. I think the ones that are going to get especially hurt are the ones with the new auto and the Angels jerseys.
Yes.
I think if you're looking for an Ohtani Angels auto, you really want one of those original autos from 18, 19, or 20. My personal opinion. Phil might disagree. I doubt it.
I agree.
All right, somebody mentioned Bonds. So I want to show this.
Oh, you have it? Oh, okay.
Yeah. Somebody brought this up. Maybe SFO Socks.
Phil, can you tell us about this card? Or Jeff?
No.
I don't know. Finest the Man. I don't know much about it. It looks like some of the inserts that they're putting out now, though.
Well, they redid the Man multiple times since then, but this seems to be what it was all based on. 1998 finest. I see it's out of 75. Gem Mint 10 probably can't be too high of a pop. That seems like so much money, but these late 90s refractors are going nuts.
I don't have a plan to get back into bonds. I sold all my bond stuff because the market was right, and I was like, maybe these aren't the right cards. Problem is, I can't afford any of the right cards.
Yeah.
This, I don't know if this is one of the right cards or not. Curious what commenters think about this. There's actually another bond somebody just asked about, a triple auto, which I think could have been cooler if one other thing played out. Share my screen now. So
previous high on this is 14.4. Okay.
Got it. Interesting. Yeah, Bond is like
interesting.
He's on fire, but maybe he'll continue. Like he picked up well before like Jordan and Brady did, I think, or at least Brady, the Bowman Chrome card. I could be wrong, but the Bowman Chrome card I know for Brady picked up more recently, where it like doubled. And I feel like Bonds, the 86 Topps Tiffany, like in January, that was already at 13, 14K, and it's still at that level. So is there going to be another Bonds run? I don't know. I don't have any of the Tiffany cards left, unfortunately. But this one here, you've got a definitive collection out of 5 from 2025 on-card autos of Bonds, Pujols, and A-Rod. Mm-hmm. When I said one ingredient was missing, to give this a theme, like we talked about with the Yordan Ortiz DH card, if Pujols was also taken down for steroids, then you'd have the 3 best steroid users ever, right? For at least hitters. All in one card.
Home runs for sure.
No, yeah. They do have nice autos. I'm guessing by the fact that A-Rod looks like it's coming out of the box, I'm assuming those are on card. Or those just like little auto boxes they give them. Yeah, I mean,
gotta be
a lot of home runs on that card. A lot of stats. Pretty good on base percentage on that card. But yeah, I can't. Yeah, you're right, Thorson. Barry never officially tested positive. Good point.
Yeah. And if Pujols was taking anything, it might have been like not actual roids, but we don't. Yeah, no, we're not going to slander him because then we'd have to slander Trout and everybody else in the league that wasn't officially busted. But okay, so we've got Gunnar Henderson here. Has he picked it up recently, or does he still have like a
lately? I believe he's into the 220s batting average wise now, but oof. Not where you'd like to see him.
This is the issue with guys like Gunnar Henderson. Like once they struggle, like who's gonna buy the falling knife? Like who's really like the collector that's held out because they couldn't afford his stuff and is gonna start buying it once
that believes in him long term. Yeah, his OPS plus is 90. Phil, he's got a .9 WAR on the season as a shortstop.
God, I'd kill for Austin Riley to have those numbers, but. I tell you what happened, Jeff. You and I bought a card of his.
We did.
In the offseason. That's what it was. He feels it. He knows something changed. I think he'll come out of it, but
I think he'll come out of it too. But he's trying to. They're trying to play him out of it. I know he leads baseball in at bats and plate appearances. He's getting every opportunity. He's just not doing anything with it.
Yeah, that poor Baltimore team. But yeah, so I mean, at what price point does something like this, Phil, become interesting to you? Maybe you and I talked about this with Roman Anthony too.
Yeah, Roman Anthony. He's got a card in here, an Atomic, be just 9.5 for like it was at like 1,000 last time I checked. Atomics are going to sell for like I don't know, a little bit less than blue, like 75% of a blue. And that's the thing, like Roman Anthony, he's going to rebound next year. And like a lot of people are going to end up looking really smart for buying the dip. I don't know. Some of these prices just seem a little too high still. And with Gunnar Henderson, I know he's not comparable to Riley Green. But Riley Green does have a card in this auction, PSA 10 base Bowman Chrome Auto. And it was at 100, and those usually sell for 150. So if like Riley Green's blue usually sells for 600, I guess Gunnar at 1,000 would be a pretty good price to pay, but would it be a great price? I don't know. It kind of depends on what Gunnar does the next 5 years, I guess.
Yeah.
Well, that's exactly it. We talked about this in a recent Spitballin episode too. It is who is going to be willing to pay the price when somebody's hurt. If we had bought Ohtani when he was hurt or not playing well, we had bought PCA cards in August and September of last year. James Wood, Chris and I had looked at some James Wood cards, his second half swoon last year. So it does, the market does reward people who are willing to go in on these players, young players who turn out. But for every player that turns out, there's some that just keep going down. Austin Riley, for example.
Oh, poor guy. One more slam at him. All right. So obviously you guys probably saw this. I want to talk about this card. Speaking of cards that are rarely centered well, this is Freeman's 2011 Topps Chrome Refractor Rookie Auto. This set it's a shame that there's no Mike Trout in here, because this set just looks incredible. The whole design with the auto box is really, really nice. And Freeman's got a good hitting image here. One of those Topps Chrome rookie images or rookie autos that matches the base card image, which we don't see, as often as we used to. I like this card. The PSA 10 pop is under 10. There are very few PSA 10 autos of any of his Topps Chrome rookies. So yeah, at 550, I mean, with a little, probably around 660 or so with your buyer's premium, I don't think that's bad at all. A lot of these were redemptions too, so they're certainly not all $4.99 are out there. But Jeff, what do you think?
I like it. Love this card. The centering looks pretty nice. I can't imagine that it was dinged for that to be a 9. Probably a surface issue around that auto box, as we know how that can be. Yeah, Freeman's just another one of those guys. We know where he's headed. We know he's headed to the Hall of Fame. If they play a full season next year, I like his chance of getting 3,000 hits. If they don't, it brings it down a little bit. That looks like a nice solid auto there too. I mean, he has the big moments. What more can he do? What more could he do to juice his market? All these young guys that we've talked about would kill to have Freeman's career. James Wood, even Caminero, those guys.
Yeah, do we need a third World Series walk-off home run?
Maybe.
But yeah, by the way, this is one of the nicest centered copies I've ever seen. The fact that the surface probably has, I'm guessing that's why it's a 9, is really a shame. That something with centering like this, was wasted. That's a really nice card. No blues, no golds are centered like that, I can tell you. Okay. Anyone in the chat looking at Freddie Freeman cards?
I just saw a big boring come across.
Oh, that's probably just Phil, though.
Professor said he bought one of these PSA 9s last year at the National for $300.
All right. Well, hope you still have it. Okay. So we talked about one Kurtz card. Wait, that's the wrong one. Dang it. There is a Kurtz Dynasty in this auction. I just have to find it now. There it is. So, Phil, could you talk for a minute about verticals versus horizontals when it comes to Dynasty?
Up till this year, I was like strongly in favor of not just horizontal being my desired choice, but like long-term interests, demand of the consumer was in like just more aligned to horizontal versus vertical. But this year, Topps did a really nice job with the patches for verticals. I think in many cases, the action shots, which you get with the verticals, which you don't, usually just get like a face with the horizontals. Mm-hmm. The action shots look really nice in this year's design, which by the way is a nice design. So good job, Topps. I think you'll kind of see parity now with a lot of the recent sales. So this is something that's very important to watch if you have a lot of Dynasty cards or if you're looking to get into the Dynasty market. The vertical doesn't really have that negative stigma like it did. These were introduced in, I believe, 2023, and they created, I believe, even more of them this year. As a percentage, maybe not, but because they printed like 40% more than what they printed in Topps Dynasty for 2024's product. Obviously, a lot more verticals were introduced as well. But I'm seeing a lot of nice ones, and I don't know what to say anymore. Like you don't know, and the fact that these are coming to football and basketball, like their preference is vertical. So does that mean they're just gonna flock to vertical, even though there's more of a legacy with baseball, F1, and soccer to have that horizontal patch. Like, I think last year what I would have said was like, I just like the way the horizontal card looks better, like independent of price. But I don't know if I still feel that way. And most of the cards I still have are horizontal. I've got a few verticals though.
I love this design. I think they did a great job with it. It almost looks like it's unwrapping a package or something with that patch placement, and the patch looks really nice. Scott has crapped on these forever. In fact, he has made a strong distinction the past couple of years, saying these aren't real dynasty cards. These are the image variations. You can see here it calls it Design B, which I believe is vertical.
Yeah, and they introduced them before 2023 because I know Bobby Witt has them. So is it 2022?
That's right, maybe 20. Yeah,
2022. Yeah.
Okay. So I don't know, and I know that Scott likes the WBC 2023 verticals, but that's where he drew the line. So I think he's changing his POV a little bit. I think this looks great. I have maybe 4 dynasty cards. I don't have any verticals, but I wouldn't hesitate to buy one with this design. I think it's really cool. And to me, especially if you can get it as kind of a discount, if dynasty snobs only like the horizontals, maybe you can get a little bit of a discount. We'll see what happens going forward, like Phil said.
Yeah, I think these look good. And I'm honestly happy to see that Phil noted that the images tend to be better on the verticals. So we're going to rub off on each other over time. Probably only each other's bad qualities, though, if I had to guess. But I think this was great. Nice hitting image, recognizable colors on the patch.
Yeah, and what Lamar is saying makes the most sense. It's like it might be card by card basis. Like, all right, one's numbered out of 5, one's numbered out of 10. So there's a slight edge to the ones that are numbered out of 5. Does that separate more in time? That's a separate question. But you look at the patches, you look at the players, you look at whether it's a rookie or not, and not just how beautiful the patch is, but how rare is that patch for that player, or just in general. Gunnar Henderson had some sweet looking patches. Were they the sponsor patches? No, probably just regular. And then like more and more of those multicolored cool patches from 2025 Dynasty. This year's Dynasty really started to surface. Then it's like, well, then I guess it's a little bit less rare. Like I have a really cool Joey Votto card with the Reds guy's face and mustache, but then there was another one that was printed this year. Not quite as good of a shot. I think one of his eyes is partially cut off, but makes my card less cool now.
Yeah, that's what you always got to worry about too, right? Unless you have the rookie, then it doesn't matter as much.
This is true.
Right. Oh. You got one, Chris? I've got one.
I do. I have one more for now.
Right.
But I want to talk about this one. There's one basketball card on here that I thought about. I wanted to buy one in 1993 and in 1994 and then in 1996 and 1997 and 1998. I'm like, yeah. And then when I kind of got back to the hobby, I was like, oh, it's one of those sports cards I always wanted. I should buy one. And I never did, which is too bad. I just love how this card looks. And I kind of love this image, this like low angle shot at the wheel. It's called like a Dutch angle, Jeff, in movies when they kind of rotate the camera a little bit.
Yeah, canted Dutch angle. Yeah, that's a great shot.
Yeah, it's just something about it's like a sort of a nostalgia, but also like a greatness kind of feel to it. And my window is past, unfortunately, but these early finest refractors are amazing.
Chris gets into basketball a little.
Yeah. These ones, they printed a bit of. Actually, apparently not. 3,500. Jeez, I used to have one of these. Man. Yeah, these ones get green pretty good. But yeah, this is the first finest refractor for basketball.
Yeah,
meaningful card.
Awesome. I don't know how. I don't know that much about the greening. I did see quite a few early basketball finest refractors and chrome refractors at the West Coast Card Show that looked very, very green. But yeah, all right. So Jeff, I'm going to have to talk about this card now. I haven't seen this image before. I had never seen this card before. So this is on our Blab About Slab on Thursday. We talked about the Caglione out of this set, this 2026 mega box. It's an image I'd never seen before anywhere else, and it looks really cool. But this, we got Mizorowski and one of the famous podium shots that Jeff and I love.
Yeah, this looks like maybe it was his All-Star game interview, perhaps, when he was named to the All-Star game soon after he got promoted to the big leagues, which was a little controversial at the time because he hadn't pitched very much, but pretty cool. Rose gold is kind of an interesting, intricate pattern behind. Nice. He's got the MLB mic there's a lot of Major League Baseball logos on this.
Yep, Jeff, based on the background there, then the font, that's definitely it. This is at the All-Star game.
Yep, gotta be.
That makes me like it even more.
Yeah, I do like this a lot. What is it at now? $3,000?
It is at 3,200 and climbing. So figure 3,800, 3,900 with the buyer's premium. But that's pretty cool, I gotta say.
Now, will this for Bowman Mega Box for 2025? Is this the only one of one? They don't have a Mega Box Superfractor, correct? Or do they have another one of one? It's so hard to keep up with these new parallels that they throw in. I mean, it's not a Peanuts parallel, but this rose gold, I just don't know.
I assume there's always going to be at least a second one, but I could be wrong.
I don't know. Well, I mean, like the Sapphire doesn't give us a super and a Pappardaccio, right? Like now we just get the
correct.
We just get that one. So I'm guessing there's only one Mega Box one of one. If anyone knows, please tell us that we're wrong.
Yeah. In any case, I am not in the bidding for this. Looks like it's going to be a little higher than I would like. I have no Mizrowski cards. I'd like to have one. I've tried to get his red ink auto, but just have been priced out of that. I don't know if I'll have any of his cards, Chris. Maybe in the off season. Yeah,
we missed our shot at getting a couple of his golden mirrors too.
Yeah.
I did want to Michigan Cards and Graphs. So Mizrowski has his golden mirror is similar. It's from a different angle, but he's also during his All-Star game sort of press conference, his media day. And the significance of him being on that team, I think is a huge deal. So these particular podium style cards, I don't mind these as much.
Yeah, at least he's in uniform. Yeah, they're not showing the podium.
Yeah, not showing the podium is a good touch. But yeah, I don't know. I really like this card. And he doesn't have a Topps Chrome Superfractor yet. And it's probably really great timing to get this up before Topps Chrome comes out.
Yeah.
I think this could do kind of a crazy number, but I don't know.
Yeah,
we shall see. All right, Phil, you're up. Or Jeff, either one of you.
Oh, go ahead.
Nope. I just did.
I got one. I can bring it up. Sorry, I was on mute.
Okay.
All right. 2021 Topps Chrome Ohtani Refractor. Regular refractor. PSA 10 at $190. What do you guys think? Does this surprise you being a little higher than what you'd expect?
It's actually lower than what I was expecting, just based on everything that I've seen.
Right.
But
we've talked about this design maybe being one of the worst of all time. You can't read the player's name to save your life. The centering is off, but surprisingly good for this year.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. An Ohtani refractor, it seems like any Ohtani refractor is automatically getting $200. So not surprised.
Yeah, like this has made me think about, it reminds me of Mike Trout during the pandemic, where any Trout card was a good card.
Yeah.
Any Trout is a good Trout, I think it was a saying a lot of people used. Now I wouldn't say there's like a ton of arbitrage opportunities, but now you can open old wax. Like my friend, he picked up 2020 Bowman's Best, a hobby box, because I think there might be an Ohtani auto chasing it. He ended up pulling a refractor, a base refractor kind of like this from 2020 Bowman's Best. And he said that in PSA 10, it goes for like $250 to $300 or 200
Sounds
plus.
Right. Sounds
So
right.
it basically, the box costs $300. He's even. All he needed to do is get like one other decent card, which he did. His autograph was Austin Wells, gold, like his best autograph. So he kind of got smoked on that, unfortunately, even though, at least it's a big leaguer. Guy's still playing baseball.
Not well, but he is still playing baseball, yes.
All right. No pun intended. Yeah. Is he still starting for them?
I don't think he plays every day anymore. Like he was hitting under 200 for a long time. I know Short Print a Day hates him, and if I mention his name, he gets angry.
Mr. Little Thor says this kind of pricing is the reason there's so many cards graded. For sure, so many Ohtanis. We know our friend Short Print Today went through his old boxes, sent a bunch in. It's becoming price prohibitive now, of course, since they shut down the bulk grading service, and we'll see what it is when it comes back to see how much it's worth grading these. This is not a base, but the lowest level refractors of Ohtani in just mid career 2021.
There were quite a few cases at the West Coast Card Show with full of cards like this.
Really? What was pricing like?
I didn't even ask. All unmarked, but I mean a lot of slabs of cards like this, like third, fourth year base cards, third, fourth year refractors. Those not like, I don't know, like the non-base cards, but they're base cards. Like Ohtani gets hot from his rookie year, or Japan's finest. Those kind of like checklist type cards in slabs, and people asking about them, like a lot of interest in that stuff. And that's like it's like the lowest low end Ohtani, and it's all getting slabbed, and it's all selling at or around prices like this. And this is the stuff that scares the hell out of me. Because there's no shortage.
If you have it, though, it's a great time to sell it. It's a great time to sell it and consolidate that into something maybe a little bit more likely to hold value if the bottom falls out.
It just feels like that $12 million PSA backlog. The sports cards that are in that backlog, it feels like there's going to be a lot of cards like this.
Agreed.
A lot of lower end Ohtani.
Agreed. Although it's still 80% TCG. Thanks, Phil.
Yeah. Phil and his daughter just clogging it up for the rest of us.
We submitted like 10 total cards. All right. Ooh. So we dropped an episode Sunday morning on our draft of our favorite Topps card designs. Mm-hmm. So Chris didn't get to take part in it. He should have over me. He probably wanted to punch a wall when he saw my picks, or when he does finally watch that. Maybe don't watch other people's episodes.
Oh, I got all the results from Jeff, like almost immediately.
Okay. This is one that I let slip away. What do you guys think about this card, though? So obviously the card's iconic. It's awesome. Ricky Henderson rookie from 80 Topps. This is autographed. What does this tickle your fancy?
A couple things. Great design, and this was brought up a lot in the chat or the comment section of our video, that 1980 was a favorite of a lot of people, and I could have picked all the sets from the 80s as being my favorite. Nice auto here. We know this Henderson card is extremely rare to gem. It's extremely rare to find in any decent condition. The centering on this one looks really good compared to what we usually see. So to get a 9, that's a pretty high grade. I don't know if I've seen, I know it's a BGS or BAS, but it's not a PSA 9, but still, I don't know if I've seen a higher graded Henderson rookie. So I can imagine this is going to go for a high dollar amount, especially since Mr. Henderson is sadly no longer with us. I know he signed a lot when he was alive, but I can't imagine there's a lot of this high grade quality autos and cards like it. It's very cool.
Well, for sure, we could look it up. Yeah, this would definitely be one of the designs that I would have wanted. I think 75 Topps might have been my first pick, Phil.
Phil got that.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, that's an absolute classic, and it looked great in Heritage. I love this Ricky Henderson card. And my question for the two of you and people in the chat, if you were having Ricky sign this, or you were buying a signed copy, where's your preferred spot for him to sign it? Because I think there's two ideal spots, and this is one of them.
The other one's over the pants leg.
Yeah, right above the sort of facsimile signature. You could kind of match those.
Yeah.
But up there with that white line, it's almost like it was just made. It's above his head.
Yeah, right through the bat. I have no problem with either of those spaces. I like it.
Yeah. I like it. Yeah. And it's far enough away from the facsimile. Like, you've got it close to his actual name, but it's far enough away from the facsimile to not cause too much clutter or confusion.
I tell you, it would have been pretty cool to see this in like a green Sharpie. Those colors are just so vibrant. I'd like to see that.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Bold.
There, Jeff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd go bold. If I'm getting an in-person auto, I'm going to go for something bold. I'd get it because I'd want to keep it in my collection. So
somebody in the Discord mentioned that looking at, maybe not apples to apples, but looking at some dynasty sales, and was talking about how James Wood was selling for a third of the price of Ben Rice. And one example, not Top Scrum autos, not apples to apples, but it's because Ben Rice has few dynasty cards. It's a big reason why. But also, Ben Rice is a Yankee. He's having an amazing year. But so is James Wood, and he's younger. Like, if I was making a 20-year play, like like I can't sell this card in fewer than 20 years, I'd pick the James Wood over Ben Rice. I don't know about you guys, but
100%.
Yep.
Yeah, I feel like he's just not there yet with regards to like mass hobby appeal.
For sure.
He's not super collectible yet or collected yet. Maybe he is collectible. People just aren't buying him for whatever reason.
There's a dynasty in this too, a James Wood dynasty out of 10 that I was looking at earlier, and I didn't think that was going very high either. Last I saw was like, what, 12?
Can you pull that one up, Jeff? I love James Wood. And I know he started Phil and I talked a lot in spring training how he looked horrible. And then he struck out every at bat in the first week of the season. Then he was like, oh, that's right. And he's just been on fire ever since. He's leading the league in runs scored by a pretty wide margin, I think, at the All-Star break. It was like one of the biggest gaps between 1 and 2.
Yeah. He had a crazy number.
Yeah. Yeah. People ignore runs scored. I always like to look at it because it tells you, obviously, partly, who's getting on base a lot, who isn't clogging the bases up, who's knocking themselves in. And
yeah, he and Abrams make a fine 1-2 punch. Can one of you guys put mine on there? I don't have the power.
Oh, yeah.
It's a nice vertical one, nice multicolored patch. It's not a great patch. You'd like to see maybe some of the national patch, but as out of 10, you're probably not going to get that. So it didn't seem like it's that expensive to me. And again, I don't know the market as well as Phil does, but this is one of his top cards.
Yeah. It's so hard for me to like rookies from current year dynasty or the most recent dynasty set, because this is really 2025. It's just hard for me to pay that current year tax because it's just, in last year there was the same thing. This year it seems to be worse because like, that the current year tax is going to stay a thing for at least till the next release. And maybe it dies down a little, but what we saw with 2024 is it stayed in, like Skeens was outselling guys by a lot, and you looked at like their comparable Bowman Chrome auto cards, and it wasn't the case. It was like 1-to-1. So with Wood, I'd feel like I was doing a disservice by saying you shouldn't buy it at this price, even though it's more expensive than a comparable Corbin Carroll card. And I don't
Phil,
know.
You said these boxes were going for near 3K now. If you pulled this out of a box, you'd feel like it's a success, but maybe it doesn't even cover the cost of that box.
Yeah.
Well, let's see.
Yeah, we'll see. I do think this is an above average patch, though. I do like it.
For a 10, right? For not
somebody
a 10.
made a comment about the autograph. His autographs aren't great, and this one looks a little streaky too. But the autograph, that matters, but the patch matters more.
I think with James Wood too, you're right. The autograph isn't great, but he is consistently not great with his autos. Unfortunately, he's got a lot of them, and they almost all look exactly like this. Yeah. So we gotta just accept it for what it is. By the way, we were talking about Ricky Henderson, that auto. I looked up the PSA pop. Not surprisingly, there are a lot. There are over 1,800 Ricky Hendersons with hard autos.
Yeah, but a high grade, that probably is one of the higher graded ones.
Well, this is obviously that's BGS, so that's not. But like the grade, when you look up, you know what? Let me just share my screen real quick. When you look up the PSA pop report, that's the wrong thing.
It's really hard to tell with those.
Yeah, my question is, Phil, maybe maybe someone in the chat knows. What grade is that? Is that the grade of the card, or is that the grade the auto got?
Certified. I don't know.
I'm honestly not sure.
I can name another player that I know that bats right, throws left. Chris?
Card would make the most sense given the distribution of those grades, because like
that means there's 1 10 10.
Yeah. Well, no, that's the thing. We don't know what the this is what I sort of heard anecdotally is that these are the card grades, and that they don't post what the auto grades are, so you don't know. Look at the pop report. So that's what Thorson's saying. Card. I'm seeing a couple people in there say card.
Yeah, that's a good point. No autos would get a 1. They just don't grade autos that low. You wouldn't. Yeah, exactly. Unless he like passed out mid auto or something. So that means there's one Ricky Henderson with a PSA 10 with an auto. Maybe it's a whatever that auto is. Man, I hope it's a good one, and I hope it's in a good spot. So, Chris, I was trying to give you a shout out. You were the answer to Scotty's question. Oh, I didn't see it. What was his question? Other than Ricky, can anyone name another player who bats right and throws left?
Oh, this guy.
Yep.
Though calling me a player, I think, is a bit generous.
Players.
Damn it! I wanted to share this real quick, but it just ended. So there were two 1992 Stadium Club cards up for bids. I just want to show them real briefly. This is the Barry Bonds, and it's mislabeled both on the slab and in the auction listing. It's a member or a member's choice, members only.
Really?
You can see it in the foil.
You should have bought that.
Yeah, member's choice. It's just a really cool card.
$8.
$8 for a PSA 6. You can
The
see
member's choice weren't nearly as rare back then. I know somebody sent me a Robin Yount one, which is nice, but
Barry Bonds. But it's just a very cool to see a card of Barry Bonds, stealing bases. This is back in his 40-40 days. But this was not. This was, I would say, what I would call one of the better Stadium Club images in 1992. Also, upper bids was one of the worst. Oh shoot! Hold on, I got it. It's gonna be over and it's gonna be gone. Dang it! All right, hold on. I had this all set up. Now I can't find it. So you guys can look at this Mizorowski again for a second.
Oh, where did there was a Derek Jeter Stadium Club rookie,
4K.
The Murphy one, PSA 9 in the auction too. That was a card. The PSA 10 I speculated on a bit during the pandemic, and I was thinking like, oh, it's more rare than some of these other ones, and it hasn't exploded in price yet. But then it never really did. Like the Pinnacle. I mean, all of his cards exploded, right? I think I was just a little bit too late with that one particular card, the Stadium Club Murphy. Like it kind of stalled out at $900. Only 900.
Yeah. So this is Craig Maddox's 92 Stadium Club. This just makes me smile. Not a great image. Outsold the Bonds, though.
He needs his little professor glasses on there.
He does. But he's so young here. Anyway, let's just move this along. By the way, the Nick Kurtz is sold.
Yeah, so did the Otani SSP.
Yeah. Man, these things are ending fast.
Maybe that's a nice thing about weekly versus Premier. Premier, you got to stay up till East Coast, 3 a.m.
3 a.m.
No fun. No fun at all.
Right. All right. This Cal Raleigh's still going, though. Look at that patch.
So let's talk about this, Phil. This is an Inception. So what tier is Inception? Behind Dynasty, you've got Definitive. We talked about those. Is that a sticker auto too?
Probably. Yes. Not only is it a sticker auto, but it's a player worn relic.
All right. Well, I wouldn't rank this at all. Man, so player worn sticker auto.
Inception does have the first milestone cards. Those are going to be game used, usually pieces of bases to signify a meaningful moment, like first hit, first home run. There's a number of different parallels, which is annoying. The parallel rainbow is quite extensive, but you get on-card autos, I think, and plus the real game used. And sometimes it's a dirty base. So like Fanatics / Tops are doing some interesting stuff there at least, but it's hard for me to really understand the hierarchy after Dynasty. And I know some of these products sell for even more than Dynasty sealed, but from a resale perspective, the singles just don't do it. So everything is below Dynasty, but like you could come up with like 20 different variations of hierarchies to like really sort out the RPAs.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, player worn sticker auto, that's a pretty tough combo. All right. Phil, I apologize. I got to show this. Jeff, let me know what you think about this. So this is an original ticket stub from Japan for the first Terminator.
Man, I wish we got cool ticket stubs like this.
Right?
Never. Wow, that's really cool. I'm not a ticket guy, but that would be a nice display piece.
This would be very, very cool. And Arnold's still around. You could potentially get him to sign this, and that would just be unbelievable. A nice thick silver pen.
It seems like this would be a item that he would enjoy signing.
Yeah. Yeah. All right. Speaking of 80s, can you believe the centering on this Roger Clemens card?
No, I cannot.
It's perfect.
There's no diamond cuttedness to this. So it's hard to believe it's real. Is it trimmed? Well, looking at that price, you can see how rare this condition is.
It's kind of sad. Like, I find myself rooting for this card to do well because it's outselling a PSA 10 equivalent of this card, I believe. But like knowing that it's the same parent company that owns both companies, so it's like, yeah, like you're punching PSA in the face by selling for more than a PSA 10, which you've always been able to do up till recently. Sometimes they sell close to one another. Yeah. But it's an 80s card. And for like a BGS 10 Pristine to sell this well for an 80s card, it's like a big win for the BGS brand, but it's really just the collector's brand. It's really, we're just one and the same. Like, I think a lot of people believe that PSA and SGC share graders. I don't think people suspect the same of PSA and BGS right now. I think BGS is a lot more separate.
They're not
right
in the same
now.
building yet, Phil.
Yeah, exactly.
Same complex.
Right. Yeah, good point.
Yeah, that's really cool to see it centered like that, though. I'm not surprised at that price because that is an iconic card. I always heard about it as a kid. Never saw cards from this set. Only in Beckett. That's fun.
Phil, did you grow up on the East Coast?
Yep.
Did you ever see this card physically at a show or at a shop?
Well, I'm a little bit younger than you, Chris. So
true.
My iconic cards were not like mid 80s. Mine were more Griffey Jr., Frank Thomas. So Greg Maddox, 87 Donruss. This, the stuff in the mid 80s became big to me when Don West was shilling the 84 Topps McGuire card. Like, that's when I get introduced to some of these
85 Topps McGuire. Yeah.
85 Topps. My bad. Yeah.
Yeah. This is one of those cards that I would see in the Beckett. I would never see it. I don't think I actually saw
84
one until
Fleer update, just a ghost of a product.
I don't think I saw one until I physically saw one until I was in college. But very cool. All right. So I'm glad you mentioned that McGuire card, Phil, because this is also in extended bidding.
Wow.
Tiffany.
The slab was from last century, apparently.
I think it really was.
Yeah. No, it was. Yeah.
Yeah. But this card is awesome. I never saw the Tiffany sets either. But I did have a friend actually open.
Can you flip over just so we can see how bright that back looks on that?
Of course. Yeah.
I don't know if I've ever seen this one in a Tiffany. Yeah. Wow. Neon.
Yep. Typical Tiffany centering as well.
Yeah. One of my, not the Tiffany, but the regular card. One of my first purchases back in the hobby, like 2014, I was dumbfounded when I could buy one of these for $1 to $3 at a card show raw. I'm like, but in 1998, during that home run race, like, they couldn't have crashed that far. And surely they'd have to, dollar debasement, inflation, they'd have to claw back a little, right? No, not really. But now they're coming back.
Yeah. In the summer of 2000, I was raising money to take my girlfriend on a trip. I did a baseball card show in New Jersey. I sold my last raw copy of this in a thick screw down holder for $160.
In 2000. Jeez. Probably still in that slab somewhere getting flattened. I want to throw Stewie's comment out here. OBP is more important individual rank than runs scored, which becomes more team dependent. Absolutely. Sure. That just reminds me of, remember Bobby Witt, for the first month had 4 runs scored or something crazy like that. He was getting on all the time, but nobody was driving him in. Yeah. Runs scored definitely is team dependent. You got to get on base, but you have to have somebody driving you in.
Absolutely. And I think it also, you can tell the faster play. Schwarber's OBP is great and he hits 1-2, but he does not score runs like Gotani or, Acuna when he was healthy.
Yeah.
It's funny how the MVP award slowly evolved into RBI, and runs aren't even a factor anymore.
No.
Like a 0.
It used to be the only factor.
And in fantasy baseball, you're really rooting for those things.
Yeah.
But
when you're playing. Yeah. Fantasy baseball, there's nothing more frustrating when it's late on a Sunday and your matchup is tied and your guy triples to lead off an inning. And you're like, oh, here comes the run I need. And the next
all
two
you need
players
is a run. And then you get Dan Uggla popping up.
Just screaming at the TV.
Yeah.
Ooh, all right. So I know, Phil, you said you don't look at the Otanis, but I believe this is an incoming high sale for this card. I don't think I've seen one this far over 20K before.
I think it's cleared 20K, but 23, that's a lot.
I think I know I saved that Buxton card, but I guess we didn't get to it. So hopefully maybe
There might have been somebody in our Discord that sold that. I actually sold a Dynasty logo man of Buxton recently too, from a different year, and it sold for the exact same price, I think, in auction, like $1,200. So I mean, it's I guess I wouldn't say this is it for Buxton, but if he can't get a bump for doing what he's doing this year, which is still pretty good, it's the WAR bias. It has to be the WAR bias. Like the defense must be down a little bit. He's not stealing bases, so the base running WAR is probably down a little bit. He's aging,
he just
right?
misses games. He misses games, Phil. He'll have go on a run, then he'll miss 2 or 3 games. Then
2.9 WARs. He was on pace for the same WARs last year, like a 5.0. He's
probably going to play 130 games again.
Yeah.
Ooh.
He needs like 6 more years of this to be a Hall of Famer. Yeah. And maybe not 6. Maybe 5. But like he's gonna continue to decline.
Yeah. Oh.
And he won't be a Hall of Famer. I'm not saying he will be. I'm just saying like it's a long shot, is what I'm saying.
Gotcha. So
this seems reasonable for this Trout. I know our buddy Cardboard Showcase just posted a refractor version of this that he picked up in a 9.5 on Instagram. This doesn't seem bad. Wow, the Trout has fallen out of favor.
Without looking, Jeff, what are the oranges numbered to?
Well, I know that they're numbered to 99, which is crazy. Gold is 75 this year.
It's a lot of strange numbering, but an absolutely
beautiful. What is purple?
5.
5. Yeah. Strange numbering, but that seems like a nice sale, nice buy for that person.
Yeah, it's his only rookie on card auto. Comes out of an incredible set. Oh wow.
Lamar says, I don't think the average fan, hopefully not the average baseball card collector, is all obsessed with WAR. I think that's true. That for sure is true, but it definitely plays a role. There's guys that absolutely suck with WAR, like Rafael Devers, who Chris and I like, and his path to the Hall of Fame is not through WAR because he's not going to get a high WAR, but he keeps accumulating stats. And for some people, that's more important. And for some Hall of Fame voters, that's still more important, collecting the home runs, RBIs, runs, etc. So
yeah, I think WAR's a nice guideline, but it's certainly not the be all end all.
It'll push, like from a statistical perspective, like players' accomplishments with stats. It's a pretty big driver for that. But yeah, there's other factors in collectability. Do we like this guy? Does he have aura? Do we think that this is sustainable? How old is this player? Like there's other stuff too, for sure, that affect fandom, which affects collectability. So this is another Trout card. This one peaked at around $240 back in like 2021. Walmart blue. There were a bunch of like pretty cool older Trout cards in this auction. Yeah. So $89. I actually, like when I saw this, it was sitting at about 30, and I'm like, oh man, Trout's fallen so far.
30.
But
yeah, love that rookie cup card sliding. That's when Trout was stealing 40+ bases. It was great.
Yeah, the look on his face too, like that. Yeah, that card is great. And I think that's his best. The 2012 Topps Chrome card is just weird. It's like him and I think Torrey Hunter and one other guy. He gets the Gold Cup in his like 3rd year essentially. I love these parallels.
Yes.
This one here just sold too. So out of 570, 2019 Topps Heritage Refractor. Really sweet pose. $70.
Yeah, that 2019 set has some really nice looking.
Good time to be a Trout buyer.
Yeah. Scotty, this is an unanswerable question. I think the Veterans Committee was still dealing with trying to figure out, or the era committees.
Era committees, yeah.
Yeah, it was like a perfect storm. I think he played with most of the players that were the retired players that were on the committee, and at least one of the executives was like the one that either drafted him or one that like signed him at one point or traded for him. So I think a lot of guys voted with their hearts.
Yeah, it's too bad because he was a great player. Was he a Hall of Fame player? Probably not, but now he's known for being like the worst guy in the Hall of Fame. But he's in the Hall of Fame.
I mean, if I have to choose between him or Billy Wagner, I'm choosing him. Him or Trevor Hoffman, I'm choosing him. But I've beat that horse. All right, I want to talk about a couple soccer cards, Phil. Obviously, this is a really good time to auction off an Erling Haaland card. But I was trying to do like some cursory looks. He's got multiple 2019 like Topps Chrome cards and a Sapphire card, and some of the 2019s have the 2020 designs. I was very confusing, and I realized I don't know enough to actually put money in any of this yet.
Yeah.
So I just kind of backed off. But I was shocked to see this thing took off in the last like 5 hours or so.
What was it when you started?
Gold refractor is still alive. Yeah.
It was like 6,500.
Wow. Yeah, what a guy! What a way to introduce himself to the majority of the American audience and the sports card audience. Just a really lovable guy, an amazingly talented athlete. Just really cool. I expect big things from him as far as the hobby goes. There's not a lot of people, not a lot of players that left indelible marks on Americans who really only care about soccer every 4 years, but I'd say he's one of them.
Yeah, more than just a striker. Which is kind of what I had thought going in. Well, this is a guy that's just really good at scoring goals. Like Phil Esposito hung around the goal in hockey and was known to be somewhat of a garbage man and just was in the right place, cherry picking at the right time. But like Haaland, super fast, unguardable, smart player, very physical, and he's got an amazing personality. He's got the aura. His Instagram followers jumped, I think, like 33% or 50%, like went from like 40 million to 60 million throughout the tournament, something like that. He was one of the biggest gainers, which isn't the end all be all, because Cristiano Ronaldo, I think, is still above Messi at this point. Doesn't mean his cards are going to sell for more. Doesn't mean he's a better soccer player. But yeah, Haaland, we talked about this a little bit earlier today on a different stream, but between Haaland, Mbappe, Lamine Yamal, and Messi, it's so hard to know which one's the right buy. From a long-term perspective, Messi, I think, has the best like risk reward balance, like proposition.
Close to the end of his career and has so many things established.
Yeah, right. And Messi's the one I might go for, but I think the brain says Messi and Mbappe, the heart says Haaland and Lamine Yamal.
Yeah, Haaland just has like the it factor. On The Simpsons, it was referred to as Zork Kapauza. That's what Haaland is. Like, he is just, when he touched the ball in the World Cup, the stadium started to shake. And there's like literally people freaking out because he didn't get passed. Like, the guy didn't pass him the ball. It's one of the highlights I've seen the most from the pass he didn't get. He's just really exciting. And he seems like a fun, honestly, I mean, he's Norwegian, so he's not a giant asshole. He just seems like a really good person based on the stuff that we have seen of him online, like his normal life. But he is really exciting. Messi's probably going to be the all-time great, but Mbappe is way younger. And I think they are currently tied right now for like all-time World Cup goals. So Mbappe may retire taking that mantle from Messi. We'll see. It could be like a Federer, Nadal, Djokovic type situation. And Mbappe could be the Djokovic when it's all said and done.
I was trying to challenge a friend of mine who knows more about soccer than I do. He actually plays in a men's league. And I was trying to tell him, like, well, Mbappe only has as many goals as he does because he's just been on so many good teams. And he's like, Phil, it's not easy to score in the World Cup. What Mbappe is doing is amazing. And plus, Messi has been on a lot of amazing teams, too, that have made deep runs. And I'm like, all right, well, Mbappe's like striker, though. He like plays like further up, and he has his whole career, right? And he's like, Phil, no, you're wrong. And I'm like, okay, all right, never mind. All right.
Emophobic, thank you. He did. I wasn't sure if his second goal in the semifinal or the third place game was put him up past Messi, but he did. Yeah, it's really hard to score a goal in the World Cup. Some of these guys make it look really, really easy. It's hard to score in soccer.
Haaland,
the ball's round and it's moving.
For a big guy, he's the lower body, like coordination and touches, his footwork is on a different level than like we saw Nico Williams play today. Who had an assist for Spain, a lot of sloppy touches, still looks very unpolished. And I know it's unfair to compare the two because nobody's saying that Nico Williams is a top 20 player in the world. He's a backup for that team, which he's still probably better than any player that the U.S. is starting. But and then that guy Oyers the ball. I don't know, the guy with the most goals for Spain, I think, throughout the tournament. Kind of weird looking face. He's not coordinated like Haaland for a big guy. Neither is Harry Kane. So Yeah, man, Holland, like you look at Holland and you know that's exactly why the US will never have a super strong, well, maybe they will, but that's why they haven't had up to this point a very dominant franchise or organization for soccer because, they look at them, they've never won a World Cup. A lot of these other teams have. Not a lot, maybe like 10 teams have won at least one World Cup.
8.
And yeah, and like Holland would not, if he was in this country, there's no way he'd be playing soccer. It wouldn't even be his second or third sport. It would be one of basketball or football, and then name something else, and then soccer might be like his fifth or sixth choice. But for his country, soccer was his number one choice. So
yeah, I bet he'd make a great tight end.
He could easily put on muscle and
like
you might look at his body, be like, oh, he's too frail to be a linebacker or whatever. Like, no, like he would actually work out for that sport and he'd be gigantic and still
his legs
fast.
are crazy strong. So
yeah. So this is his Topps Chrome Sapphire. I believe this is his rookie because there by his left shin on the bottom right is a little RC logo. If I'm not mistaken, his regular Topps Chrome does not have that. But then this is confusing to me because the one I just showed said 2019 Topps Chrome, but I guess it's just 2 different leagues. I get very confused here, Phil, because this is like the 2020 design for baseball, but it says 2019, and this one says it's a rookie.
Bundesliga, is that the other one? I don't know.
That's the German league, right?
Yeah. So he's got finest cards. Like some are really desirable. It's hard. It's hard, but I'd say either the Sapphire or the Topps Chrome. I mean, those would be some clear choices for me to get his rookie card. But like we kind of covered, that doesn't say rookie card with his Topps Chrome, but that would not stop me. Just look at the price of like sealed hobby boxes. They're like people want $1,200 for Topps Chrome. Not quite as much as like the year before with Champions Leagues. It's got the Mbappe rookie, but yeah, I mean, it's so hard. Like right now, I think you still need a few months to go by for people in this country. We represent the biggest proportion of soccer card collectors is going to be still in this country just because of card collectors. There's just more of those in our country. So you have to wait for more people in this country to forget about Holland, and time needs to pass for that to happen. So that's kind of what I would be doing. I'd be sitting on the sidelines for a few months and hoping to find a better place to buy in.
Yeah, it's interesting. Like you just said, like soccer's the biggest, most popular sport in the world, but card collecting is like largely a North American thing. If it ever really starts to spread out, and PSA is opening up a location in Germany, maybe that changes things. I don't know.
Yeah, once you sell on eBay, you'll know. Like you have like 20 soccer card sales and 18 are from the US. Versus maybe one from Canada, one from somewhere else. And if you're selling Pokemon cards, it's different. It's more spread out. And basketball is probably more spread out than soccer, or at least it was. I don't know about today with soccer. Maybe it is more of a global market than it was, say, 5 years ago. But I don't know if it's on the same level as basketball, where there's like a big, a lot of people collecting LeBron in Australia and in China.
Yeah, the Asian market is huge in NBA, and I haven't seen them get into soccer cards either. So yeah, it remains to be seen. We keep hearing about it mainly every 4 years. We thought it would be the biggest push this year, having the World Cup in Canada, Mexico, and the US. And it has been for the most part because we've been able to see a lot of games. So I think a lot of collectors around here, it's opened some eyes. But like Phil said, I bet if you wait a couple months, it'll be a little bit more out of sight, out of mind. A couple months, maybe even into the years before the next World Cup.
Okay, I got one more card before we wrap, because this just
the Brandon Belt Bowman Chrome auto. Just
no, we could talk about that when you want. Jeff and I once overpaid for Brandon Belt at an NL only auction league. That's totally unrelated.
Hit a home run that night and then pretty much did nothing else.
Yeah, that was my fault. I packed a bunch of Smirnoff Ices for the auction, so I was hepped up on sugar and booze. But
special event gold. So what's going on with this one?
I assume that's the world. It's got to be what, tour?
Yes, looks like World Tour. Does it say on the back?
Probably. That's a lot of money for any Sasaki card.
100%. So his debut.
Yep.
So that's from his debut. Oh, so maybe it was it was probably top MLB Tokyo series.
Yeah, the first two or three games were in Tokyo. Yeah. So, I mean, all right, that is cool. That's a patch from literally one of his first ever major league games. I mean, that's very, very cool. But this guy has not accomplished much of anything short of a couple of big saves against the Phillies.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know, Phil. I know Scott talks a lot about how important these event-specific cards are, and you can trace it to that exact event, which, like Chris said, is important. And if he turns into a big-time player, this is kind of like his rookie debut patch-esque. But what do you make of this sale? $25K.
I think I bid on like 5 items in this auction, and none of them were modern era cards, which is interesting. But I don't know if I won anything yet. But this actually seems right to me, but I wouldn't pay this. People are comparing it to like the MLB debut patch, and like, okay, and they're like discounting it from there. So they're starting from like here, and they're like, well, if that is worth that, then maybe there is room for this to carry somewhat of a premium. But I mean, this is the Dodgers effect. This is the global effect. This is the hype effect for young, unproven players. There's a lot of things that point to why this would have a lot of demand right now. Will it have a lot of demand in 6 years from now? I don't know.
I was just trying to see if the patch on his sleeve is where this came from. Yeah. So you can see right there, MLB World Tour is the top of this patch on his elbow or on his shoulder.
Yep.
And yeah, there you go. So it's got some coolness to it. I did Brandon in the chat is now, I think that was him, concerned he overpaid for his Jackie Robinson card, but that's just a really sweet card.
Beautiful card. Yeah.
Looks like it could be a 6.
Yeah.
Yeah, there must be some paper loss. Check the back.
Back looks great.
Seems like a tough 2 from my non-expert vintage eye.
Yeah, we need a Spitballin eye appeal sticker on that one.
I think. Slap it on sideways like the NBA. Great purchase. Congrats.
Yeah, I think any Jackie is a great buy.
You'll never got a Fanatics Collect eye appeal top 15%. How high do they go? Is that the highest you can get?
I think so. I think it's just eye appeal or bust. So eye appeal is 15%.
And they do a top 30% too, maybe? Or just 15? Is it just 15?
It's so arbitrary, and it's completely unpoliced or explained or followed through on in any way.
Okay. We can on this one, by the way.
Oh, okay.
All right. Phil, before we go, you want to tell people what that QR code is over here?
Yep. So we've got a fast-growing Patreon, over 240, just like the amount of viewers right now. Members, and you can get your first 7 days free if you sign up, and you'll get access to the Discord, which is worth the cost of admission by itself. It's just, we've got like 20 probably different channels, maybe more than that, all like daily contributions basically. And some people are in there nonstop, and people have like actually mentioned like some of these people not have jobs, but sorry if any of you guys are in here. But
yeah, lots of different channels, vintage cards, sealed wax, some Pokemon, MLB talk. So it's a great place if you want just to chat about all things hobby and non-hobby during the day. So check that out. If you like this kind of content, please hit that like below and throw a comment in there on YouTube. That will let us know that this is a successful way to get out there and talk to you guys. We love talking cards. We thought it'd be fun to come on here and do a live and just talk about some of these cards that are ending, most of which we're not in on and are over our current price range, but it's fun to talk about. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us.
Yeah, and I wish Jeff, you should have reminded me that I needed to bid on something before extended bidding if I wanted to bid on it. I completely forgot about that.
Yep, that's the rules. Otherwise, yeah, it would have been Chris and I could have been bidding currently. It would have been a little sweat. You would needed your sweat towel, Chris.
Oh, I was prepared. I was ready to go.
Just in case. So please check us out on Spitballin Cards. We just released a video this morning, like Phil mentioned earlier. It's the top flagship designs of all time. It was a lot of fun to make. We drafted our picks. So please let us know in the comments on there what we missed and what you guys think about flagship designs. And thanks for joining us. We'll see you guys soon. See ya.
Okay, cheers.